Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Your home for all content Lord of the Rings home. Today we got some big news concerning what's next for this next month of August. We've got the Haradrim. We've got two marquees. We're going to go through their kit reveals today. And the month of August is Haradrim month. So we're going to talk about all of that and more today. So let's hop right into it. As you can see, this is the post on the website regarding Haradrim month, which is the month of August. And I'm just going to quickly skim through this, quickly read it, and we'll get onto the kit reveals themselves. It says, while the Haradrim may not be familiar to some, they played an interesting part in the story of the One Ring, albeit as allies of Sauron. The Haradrim are tall and bold people marked with red, white, and black body paint, and with sharp weapons and shields at the ready. They are skilled horsemen and have even tamed huge wild beasts, the Oliphants, to aid them in battle and warfare. The Haradrim are also skilled warriors and make for an impressive fighting force. From a gameplay perspective, the Haradrim are all about working together as a fierce unit, with Tabib at the lead. I like that's a fun way to say that. Tabib at the lead. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it though. They share their passive abilities with each other, so it's basically like the Phoenix Squad. For those of you who don't know, the Haradrim were data mined to be like the Phoenix Squad from Swigo, where basically the leadership ability of the main Haradrim, of the Haradrim leader, is to share all of the passives, and that's similar to a squad in Swigo, CG's other game. It makes them for some interesting gameplay, and the Phoenix Squad over in Swigo is actually considered to be one, or it was when I was playing, to be considered one of the early starter squads that you want to unlock. Furthermore, they rely heavily on their Black Serpent poison, which intercepts the next boon placed upon the recipient and converts it to poison. I'm going to go into that. The Haradrim as a whole are the perfect squad for focusing down that one strong opponent on the battlefield. Then they've got some sweet, this isn't quite stained glass art. I mean, it is, but interesting. Yeah, I really like actually the stained glass art that they have. I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't have some for Gandalf, but so it goes. The other thing I want to mention quickly is that the data mine, outside of predicting that they were going to have this passive, or this sharing of passives, also suggests that the Haradrim are the unlock requirements for the next legendary, the Witch King of Angmar. Again, data mine subject to change, so you can't just put all your eggs in that basket, but that is what has been data mined. While the Haradrim are fierce warriors, they are not without their healers and support. Tabib has a healer to her people and carries various bags and pouches filled with herbs, ointments, potions, and bandages. Tinctures, maybe. Like all the protectors, she cares for her people deeply and will support them in their conflicts bravely. Now, this is a sick stained glass art piece. I really like this. This is really cool. This is the Blade Dancer Bekulu, I'm pretty sure. Throughout the ranks of Haradrim, deadly and beautiful blade dancers bring furious attacks on their enemies. Bekulu, a blade dancer, is deadly on the battlefield with the razor-sharp blades whilst whistling through the air, while also moving with such grace and swiftness that her attacks appear as almost if she were dancing. So then they've got the kit reveal. So let's first go through the kit reveal for Bakulu, and then we'll get into the kit reveal for the leader, because I just want to have all of the passives kind of under our belt before we get into them sharing the passives, right? Okay, works best, obviously, with other Haradrim. Shadow Haradrim human support one-handed sword. Okay, so this is a support character, not a DPS character. Let's go through the abilities. Basic ability, Heartless Assault. At unlock, attack the target enemy 3 times for 30% damage per hit. So you can think about that as just 90% damage, right? And then ability description at max upgrade, attack the target enemy 3 times for 60% damage per hit and inflicts 2 stacks of poison for 2 turns. So this goes from 90 to 180 damage, 180% damage, and inflicts 2 stacks of poison for 2 turns. So if we go... And let's go to actual poison here. On turn, take damage based on a percentage of the target's max health, and incoming healing is reduced. So basically, this is an anti-healing debuff, Bane. So that's good to know. That's on the basic. Serpent's Dance. This is special 1. You can use this on turn 1, and it looks like every 3 turns. So 3 stamina cost, 3 at the start of battle. At unlock, cleanse 1 Bane from self and the 2 allies with the most Banes. And then at max upgrade, cleanse 2 Banes, grant concentration for 1 turn, and grant deadly for 1 turn to self and the 2 allies with the most Banes. So she's getting a cleanse on her special 1. Concentration is basically increasing your focus by 50%. Any buff that is increasing your stats by 50% is pretty good. That's why Might is so good. And then grant Deadly for 1 turn. So if we go and look at Deadly, we should all know what Deadly is by now, but crit chance increased by 30%. And I learned recently that crits are about 30% more damage, usually scales off your basic, and defensive, so blocking is like an anti-crit, takes 30% of the damage away. That's my current understanding, at least. Okay, so granting Deadly for this crit, that's going to be something we want to keep in mind, because applying Banes, specifically their specific Bane of Black Serpent's Poison, comes from critting on people. And I like the concentration, just being able to land these debuffs, because it doesn't work otherwise. I'm very curious to see how their focus is going to stack up against Elrond teams, right? Because they often get Fortitude, which means that it's 50% harder to land Banes on them. Special 2, Serpent's Fang. So let's watch this animation real quick. It's a team-up attack, it looks like. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay, ability stamina cost is 3. Start at battle, you get 2, so you could use this on turn 2. Ability description at unlock. Attack the target enemy 3 times for 50% damage per hit. If Wubate is an ally, instead attack 2 times for 90% damage per hit. So you go from 150% damage to 180% damage if you have Wubate, which I'm going to assume you're going to want to keep all the Haradrim together. It's not really a plug-and-play team because of the leadership ability. Inflict 1 stack of Black Serpent's Poison. And then ability description at max upgrade. Okay, attack the target enemy 3 times for 105% damage per hit. If Wubate is an ally, instead attack 2 times for 195% damage per hit. So the damage actually really scales up here, just inflicting 1 stack of Black Serpent Poison. So this is 315% damage. And this is basically for, what is that? 390% damage per hit. So a little bit more damage. Again, she's a support character, not a DPS character, which is a little bit confusing because she's a blade dancer, but that is how it goes. And then let's actually talk about Black Serpent's Poison real quick here. When the target receives a boon, prevent that boon and inflict 1 stack of poison instead. Remove 1 stack of this Bane when that effect is triggered. So basically, anytime somebody's trying to buff up their team and they have Black Serpent's Poison, they poison themselves instead. And again, poison is this sort of, it does a little bit of damage, but I think the real utility in it is that it lowers the effectiveness of healing. Okay, passive ability. Graceful Blades. At unlock, deal plus 10% bonus damage against enemies with no boons. And at max upgrade, deal plus 23% damage against enemies with no boons. So if you're able to basically get Black Serpent's Poison on everybody and prevent sort of boons piling up on the other team, you're going to be hitting this team, the other team, a lot harder. Okay. Both of the characters that are releasing, both the Haradrim, are marquee characters. She starts, Bekulu is 8 a.m. on August 10th and ends August 17th. So they're going back to this Thursday to Thursday type thing. I have it here. So little spoiler alert, Tabib the Sage, the leader, comes first. And that's this Thursday, actually, starting August 3rd, and then goes to the next Thursday. And then that Thursday is when Bekulu's marquee starts. And then we kind of got the back half of this month to do something with. I'm not entirely sure. But the 2 marquees are coming really early on the first part of this month. And we should expect that. I still am thinking about whether I want to do just a 3-star unlock or if I want to do 5 stars. The reason I'm still considering 5 stars even after the star stat change is because of this right here. Right, the 10 epic ability materials for your leadership, 500k gold and 250k character XP. Those are pretty massive, especially the 10 epic ability materials. Now that we know that they are in the game, and the only way you can get them is 200 mithril coins, raid coins, for 1 epic ability material. So that's a big thing I'm considering as well. Not to mention, they've been data mined to be the unlock requirement for the next legendary, the Witch King, right? So at a minimum, you would need 5 stars. I am really not sure actually when the Witch King is going to be released, because he does need a team around him, right? So unless, and it doesn't really seem like how Haradrim are set up that you want to swap out any of the members for somebody else. So I'm not sure he could just slot into a Haradrim team. So then they need to release the Nazgul team to come along with that. So I'm actually a little bit not sure when the Witch King is going to come out in relation to all this sort of stuff. But let me know what you think down below. Let's move on quickly to the leader of this merry band of fellows, Tabib the Sage, Shadow Haradrim healer, human staff leader. So here's the healer for the squad, also the leader for the squad. Basic ability, Fearless Advance. And at unlock, attack the target enemy for 90% damage, 50% chance to grant Fortitude for 1 turn to the most wounded squad member. And at max upgrade, attack the target enemy for 180% damage, so we're doubling damage. And we're granting Fortitude for certain and 2 turns to the most wounded squad member. I really like that the healer has this utility on her basic. For those of you who don't know, I can't spell. Resistance increased by 50%. So just making sure that Banes don't land on the team. This is after she uses her basic. That's going to become important because one of the passives requires no Banes on the character for them to be able to get an increased crit chance. And then you want that increased crit chance so that you can land Black Serpent Poison. And we're going to go into it. Special ability 1, Southron Medicine. Ability cost 4, and you get 4 at the start of battle, so you can use this right off the bat. Heal the 3 most wounded squad members for 100 health and 50% of this character's max health. That's not bad. This means nothing anymore after the star stat changes, right? This flat healing means basically nothing. You really want the percent healing. And it's not that great at the start here. 3 most wounded squad members. So this is going to be one of the things you're probably going to target to try and bring up, as well as her leadership ability, I imagine. At max upgrade, heal all squad members for 800 health and 20% of this character's max health. Grant Fortitude for 1 turn to 2 random squad members. So again, granting Fortitude to prevent Banes building up on this team so that they themselves can then crit and then put Black Serpent's Poison on the other team, which then allows them to hit harder. 20% is better than Naramiri and Pippin, who are both at 18% of their max health. Of course, that might not matter depending on the max health pool of Tabib. Special ability 2, Coiled Serpent. Oh yeah, that's sick. This is like 14-year-old me practicing with a bow staff in the garage. Right before they reject me for a talent show. That's what I'm doing. Ability stamina cost 5. Ability stamina at battle start 6. That seems backwards. My guess is it's reversed, and that this is a turn 2 ability. If I remember correctly, when you get to use Tabib in the campaign, I think this is the ability you get to use either on the 2nd or the 3rd turn. And they change the characters they give you and the characters you face to when they unlock them, but I feel like this is a turn 2 type of situation. Ability description at unlock. Grant haste for 1 turn to all squad members, and ability description at max upgrade. Grant haste for 2 turns, that's big, to all squad members. Cleanse 1 Bane from self and 3 random allies. So again, cleansing Banes, that seems like that's Tabib's job, is making sure Banes aren't anywhere on the team, granting Fortitude, and healing, right? Haste is great, especially haste for 2 turns. Tabib seems almost like like Elrond's, but kind of reverse, if that makes sense. Well, sort of. Parts of Elrond that are the same, and then parts that are meant to counter Elrond. I'm still not convinced that this is going to be a team that completely wipes out the Elrond meta. We'll have to see. It's really going to come down to stat values, I think. Passive ability, Haradrim Resilience. The first time this character drops below health, 50% health, gain 1 stack of Unbreakable. Ability description at max upgrade. The first time this character drops below 50% health, gain 1 stacks of Unbreakable and gain 3 stacks of regeneration. So again, if you have her in there, which you of course will, to get this passive ability, then you get 1 stack of Unbreakables. So this is kind of interesting. This is like a little bit of Elrond, where he gets Unbreakables on himself, but also getting Nimbles on the team from Arwen's passive, right? And then you get some passive regeneration here from that. So pretty cool. Now let's get to the important part. Leader ability, Fight as One. At unlock, each living Haradrim squad member shares their passive ability with other Haradrim squad members. That's good that this is basically the unlock requirement and you don't have to like level up the skill a bunch. And then it seems like the additional stuff is that you get plus 10% damage and plus 15% block chance. I'll leave you to go through this if you want. It's just another marquee character, doing some strategy tips, talking about the layout, all stuff we've seen before. So let's quickly look at all of the passives. So a quick reminder. All right, you get Unbreakable. You get 3 stacks of regeneration there. 10% bonus damage against enemies with no boons. 23% damage bonus. Let me just look at the max ones. Deal plus 23% bonus damage against enemies with no boons. Getting the Unbreakable. On crit, inflict 1 stack of Black Serpent's poison and gain plus 10% focus. So that's to help you get the Black Serpent's poison out there and other types of banes. Because even if you crit, so you're going to have to crit, plus you're going to have to beat the resistance check, I think. That's the way this reads to me. So, need to crit a bunch. So how do we get more crit chance? Well, there was that Deadly from Bekulu that gets spread, but also the passive here for, what is this? Yef2? Yef2 gained plus 12% crit chance. While this character has no banes, gain an additional plus 13% crit chance. So that brings you up to 25% crit chance. And that's on top of, I think everybody basically gets a 10% crit chance. So then you're basically at 35% crit chance, but you need to have no banes on them, which is why the Black Serpent's poison sort of matters. So this is kind of like a chicken and the egg type situation. I'll expand on that afterwards. When attacking an enemy with Black Serpent's poison, heal self for 3% of this character's max health. So that's really great. That's just some extra sustainability for this team. This team actually might be pretty good in raids. Now that I'm thinking about it, they've got a lot of control. They've got a lot of like self healing, and they're gonna hit decently hard if they can get the crit train rolling, which is the key part. They need to get this Black Serpent poison out there, right? And the way they're going to do that a lot of the time is by critting. Who else has Black Serpent poison? I think it's just from critting here, and then Bekulu's, one of her skills has Black Serpent's poison, right? It's special 2 here. So that does it. So the real issue I'm having here is how do you get the train rolling? So let's say you're going up against an elf squad, right? If they're just faster than you and they get all their fortitudes up, or Arwen has her cleanse, then are you going to be able to land these Black Serpent poisons, even if you get the crits off? Where's the Deadly come from? It comes from this, right? So at max upgrade, her special 1 grants concentration, grants Deadly for 1 turn, and 2 allies with the most Bane. So this is going to be a really important ability from Bakulu to make sure that this team works. Getting that concentration, clearing Banes off of your team, and then also granting Deadly. This is probably actually going to be one of the most important skills you have here. Just so you can get that Black Serpent train going. And then in terms of, like, if you're fighting against a Haradrim squad, I think the first question you have to ask yourself is, who can I take out first? Because the leader ability specifically says each living Haradrim squad member. So if you can target the squad members in a certain way, then you can basically cripple this team and make sure it's ineffective. And I think the best way to do that is probably, I think it's probably going to go for Robel. Get rid of this crit. that's going to be a big way that they get the Black Serpent's poison out. So if you get rid of Robo, then this team might fall apart. He's also the attacker, so that's going to be a good bet anyway. Plus he's got turn meter manipulation. This guy's just a bad news all around, especially maxed, right? Another turn meter manipulation here. He also gives himself a stack of provoke, so you're going to be able to target him. I think Robo is going to be the best option for going after first. That's all for here. Thanks for watching the video, and yeah, the Discord is live, so there's a link down in the description below, and thanks for watching.